Hello everyone, good morning. My name is B. Pawan and my roll number is 20955 A0411 and my AAT concept video topic for IoT and its applications is Introduction to Traditional Networking. First, we have to know what is meant by traditional networking. Then, we can understand about the traditional networking briefly. What is traditional networking? The most common way of networking. Traditional device networks uses fixed functions and dedicated hardware and network devices including switches and routers to control network traffic. These devices have individual functions that work well together and help to support the network. These devices have individual functions that work well together and help to support the network. Here we can see the traditional networking diagram. First we have enterprise network and the first level is data center core and the second level is aggregation. In aggregation layer 3 links and layer 2 is trunks and the third layer and the last layer is access. Here we have different type of access networks. The first is enterprise network and then the data center network and second one is aggregation and the third one is access layers. Here the totally three set of layers are classified in traditional networking. And now let us go through about that the how the traditional networks is differ from software defined networks. Here we can identify that the key difference between SDN and traditional networking is infrastructure. SDN is software based while traditional networking is hardware based because the control panel plane is software based. SDN is much more flexible than traditional networking. Limitations of traditional networking. The drawbacks of traditional networking include their static nature in contrast to the dynamic nature of today's server requirements. The complexities of today's networks make it difficult for IT to apply a consistent set of access. These two are the drawbacks or limitations of traditional networking. What is traditional network security? Traditional IT security typically involves the management and maintenance of physical on premises computing components involved with the network security and data storage by an on-site IT team. What is a traditional WAN? Traditional WAN. Traditional network is based on completely hardware network devices which mostly rely on multi protocol label switching MPLS for resilient and efficient network traffic flow. Number of hardware devices are installed along with proprietary circuits to route IP services to their intended clients. Traditional network is based completely hardware network devices which mostly rely on multi-protocol label switching MPLS for resilient and efficient network traffic flow. Number of hardware devices are installed along with proprietary circuits to route IP services to their intended clients. The let us verify and understand the some of the advantages of using traditional method. The companies happily go for the traditional methodology for smaller and sequential projects. They take less time, fewer developers, and fewer resources to complete. It is also less costly because the companies don't need to use heavy technology and machinery to complete such projects. Community. Lastly, we have the community. This deployment model is dedicated to multiply organizations in the same community, which means it is not public, open to anyone in need. However, it is also not private since there is more than one company using it. Some of examples of community cloud are Blanks Universe. So, whose limitations of traditional networking? Drawbacks of traditional networks include their static nature in contrast to the dynamic nature of today's server requirements. The complexity of today's network make it difficult for IT to apply a consistent set of access. What is traditional network security? Traditional IT security typically involves the management and maintenance of physical on-premises computing components involved with network security and data storage by an on-site IT team. What is traditional one? Traditional network is based on completely hardware network devices which mostly rely on multi-protocol label switching for resilient and efficient network traffic flow. Number of devices are installed with along with proprietary circuit to route IP services to their intended clients.